I'm building it from that side. I'm building it from schools. We
That's
all
right,
say
absolutely.
shame to
Yes.
little children. What is the end game? We think we are disciplining them, but the truth is that whatever that child tried to do that he failed, he will never try it in his life again.
Your mind is being shaped.
We are looking at the fear of failure. We are delving deep into Africa's shame culture. All right. Now, this is a topic that I know it's not something that people actually discuss from time to time, but what is making us discuss this topic today is the fact that there are a lot of people out there who don't realize that they are unable to take risk to make their lives better. You and I know that this world is full of risk. You need to risk something in order to achieve something higher for your life. So the question then is, why is it that we have a lot of us so scared of taking risk? What is the problem? That is what we are discussing today. So today with my co-host Emmanuel, we are delving into this topic. And as usual, what do you think of this topic as we start?
This topic is very intriguing, like I always say, and I feel that everybody born in Africa has have a taste of this topic we are talking about, the fear of failure. When we check our church systems, religious spaces, in our family systems, in our societies, educational system, there is an iota of fear. We were brought up or we were raised in homes that we were not built on self-confidence. Our parents didn't develop us in a way that we can have confidence in ourselves. But most of the things, right from how they discipline us, how they talk to us, even how they view our exams results, how they check the things around us, like all of them bring sort of fear in us. And so it has actually stayed with most of us when it comes to the subject of failure. People always seem to hide it. They are always trying to run away from it. And there's so many unspoken rules in our continent to the point that most people always regard failures as unworthy. When you are successful, that is when we see you are very worthy. And so I can talk plenty about these things. So I feel that is something that is really going on in our continent, and then we need to draw attention of our people onto it. This podcast, like you said, will expose so many of these things onto our people, and we will learn how to shift our perspective from that side as well. Yeah.
You made a statement. I want to see how deep that is. You said that we are raised without self-confidence. How is that so? Because someone can argue that, as a matter of fact, every African home has one of the best training culture. And hence, it is believed that because of the depth of our culture, we are being raised to actually be confident and be proud of ourselves. Someone can actually make that argument. So if you say that we are not to be confident, from what direction are you coming from? Because our culture, we are made to believe that our culture is a powerful one and it gives us everything we need.
So I want to say that it is true. Africans have one of the most powerful ways of raising children, and we all agree to it. But then I'm talking about this from the perspective of disciplining children. And one thing that we are not very much careful about is that when we say confidence, to some extent, when someone has confidence, it means that the person has that ability to stand for their own, the ability to confront things without any intimidation. And you realize that from day one, the way parents discipline their children, it actually silences a certain light in them. And so children are raised up in a way, I wouldn't blame them, because some of them, they know very well that they are trying to train the child in a right way. But invariably, how we spank children, how we shout at them, there are some places that, in fact, the only solution to some of the argument in the house is just punishment. If you do anything wrong in the family, once a father is there, he will draw cane, and that will be all. So right from onset, how we are being disciplined, it deems certain light in us. And that in a way fight our confidence. So when a child grows up, he feels that he's not enough. He feels that whatever he's doing, at a point, he needs somebody to correct him. And his points are always succumb to authority. And we have always seen our parents as the highest authority and the highest say. You know, all these things are, like we said, we have a powerful way of raising children, but all these things dim confidence in our children and or in the youth. And that is why when we grow, we don't have that kind of self-confidence to confront life and to confront the things that we are supposed to, even chase our own dreams and our talents. And that is where I'm seeing the whole thing from. Yeah.
That's one interesting point that you just brought out. You know, I want to give an example. Recently, I think last weekend, I was watching a program, and that program, what they do on the program is that they switch wives. Okay. So they will take someone's wife to another person's wife, another person's wife to another person's wife for 1 week to see how the home changes. Okay. This episode, what they did was that they took a Nigerian wife and they sent her into an American home where they have American kids. You know, their discipline is not like our disciplines. They took her to their home there and they took the American mother to the African home. Now, after the whole process, they had to sit down to discuss what the problems are. The American woman said something that struck me whilst I was listening. She said that when she went to their house, naturally, when I was watching it, the kids were behaving. It was natural to me. I was like, oh, these African kids, you know, the way we greet, the way we bow and we greet and all that. I was like, oh, well, that's why I said, oh, well-trained children. That was what I was saying. And then everything went to an end. Then the American woman told the Nigerian woman that she feels her children are brainwashed. The Nigerian woman screamed like, what? She shouted, what? She said, yes. Your children are brainwashed. She was shocked. She didn't see anything wrong with that. She said, no, your children are brainwashed. They are not living as kids. They are not living to explore or to experiment to become who they can become. You are directing them into a certain space that you think is comfortable. I sat for a while and in my mind, I realized how natural I've taken things. I said, wow. Because when she went into the house, the children were doing normal things. You know, these were teens that were running their own online businesses and the businesses were not fetching in much, but then at least they are doing activities and everything. And every now and then the whole family will go to the tennis, they go and play tennis, they will come back. The girls don't really go out. They are always friends with their own siblings, and then they are all creating a whole family the way we do. Okay. Now the American woman said that she feels like you are boxing the children. You've boxed the children so much that they are not able to explore the outside world to be able to become more efficient. They are kids and you're making them start a business. Let them be kids. Let them explore around them. And then they can be able to use the high efficiency of themselves rather than you coaching them into a particular place to go into thinking that that's the right thing to do. So she felt like everything the children were doing, specifically as if it was scripted.
Yeah. Yeah.
She felt
and
like
that's very typical
she felt like
of African.
Yes.
That's how we
you see,
our lives.
We don't see it that way. But then when someone else entered the home, you see what she saw. So that is what we are talking about. It's a very huge cancer that we are dealing with as Africans. This is one of the reasons. The way we are brought up, there was no problem with it. But children and the youth being boxed in. We are being boxed in.
But Michael, you see, when you are from Africa, I like the scenario or even the story you just said, which is very practical. I'm just trying to weigh the balance right now. A typical African parents would always make sure their children are doing the right thing. I'm saying this in quotes. They will make sure. And by your submission, it means that the things that we are doing are actually boxing the children. Now, is it that typical African parents would not want their children to go into danger, would not want them to get themselves into any form of risk? And just to pass it across, we realize that all these things makes our children very risk averse in the end, right? So what actually causes our parents, I'm talking from Africa, like what really makes them feel? Is it that because they feel too much for their children? They don't want to expose them. They don't want them to take the risk at a very young age, or what? What is actually causing that?
This is not parent matter. This is a system matter. This is a culture matter. All right. So it is a culture that we've passed on for years that has come to, that we have come to meet. So it's not a parent's doing. Okay. And to also make you understand something, you see, failure in our context as Africans is a death sentence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can
In our
you say it
context
one
as
more time,
Africans,
please?
yes, failure in our context as Africans is a death sentence. That is why, in quote, we can even host a watch night to deal with the spirit of failure. It's not comfortable to hear, but that's the truth. We have come to position failure as a demon or as an evil spirit. But you see, failure itself is not even at the opposite of success. Failure is within success. Failure is a step within success. So if you don't fail,
I like that. I like that.
yes, if you don't fail, you cannot succeed. The fear of failure is what causes our culture to box a lot of people in. You can imagine a child who goes to school and then when he fails an exams, the point is that the whole family, there is a way they will even address that matter and say that you have brought shame to the family.
Family embarrassment.
Is it exactly?
God.
Exactly. You have brought shame to the family.
Great point. I like every service.
The same way, if you have a young man who decides after school he wants to start a business on his own, listen, the moment that young man fails in that business, the whole family, you say you've brought shame to the family.
Michael,
in our context, yeah,
I'm not cutting you. Listen, I think we need to take our time to explain this part. Do you know why I'm saying this? The continent has run through this thing we call failure as identity. And that is the area you are entering. That's why I just want you to take your time and explain it.
Okay. Imagine that you have a child in school and at a very young age where they are in a primary classes, getting to their upper primary and all that, you have lessons going on and a child who has made a mistake or an error, the whole class will be asked to say shish. That is where it starts from.
That's very true. That's very... No, you made me remember this so quickly.
Yes, I'm building it from that side. I'm building it from schools. We all say shame to little children. What is the end game? We think we are disciplining them, but the truth is that whatever that child tried to do that he failed, he will never try it in his life again. So that is what starts generating the fear of failure in all of us as we grow up. Because we have invincible voices at the back of our heads shouting shit.
Really bad.
We have invincible voices at the back of our heads that are whispering, it will not work out. If it doesn't work out, what would the community say? What would the community say? What would the church say? We all have those voices that are working behind our heads. You are so afraid. Let me give another example. You are so afraid to come out of an abusive marriage because you are scared of what the neighbors will say. This is how deep it goes. This is how far it goes. You are determined, or you are identified by the judgment of the community. So you don't want to actually go the extra mile that will cause people to begin to see you in a certain way. There is a young man who actually traveled. He has traveled out of the country, but then one way or the other, he decides to come back to his hometown to start life again. The judgment of, is it this guy that he traveled, he came back with nothing. Because of that judgment, a lot of people are living the diaspora. They are suffering, they are dying slowly, but they are scared to go back to their home country where they can actually start something for themselves.
Because they will be tagged.
Yes, they'll be tagged with failure. Let me give an example. So if I'm trying to build a mobile phone, I announce that I want to build a mobile phone. I try and it's not working out. Definitely you get some Africans saying, oh, this company, they don't do anything. This company, that's what they do. We do it a lot. We have people who were building cars and we lambasted them because they did something and it failed. The whole community sees everything as inferior. So you have people who try new things, and when it doesn't work out, they begin to see that they begin to backlashes coming from their own people. Recently, there is a trend going on that's on the internet, and everybody is singing a particular song, Pretty Little Baby, and everybody is singing it. A musician from Ghana tried it under his comment section. The whole world, every musician that did it, I saw how people were praising them. That musician alone they insulted him to the core.
Yeah.
That is the culture we are talking about. This is what we are talking about. Naturally, if nobody talks about it, you wouldn't know that it's a very serious thing that's going on, that is killing people's self-esteem. But we are hardwired to do this. We destroy people, we judge them, and failure becomes more like an identity to them. So imagine this musician, he sees another trend on the internet, he will never try it again.
No.
He won't try it again.
So all these things are even killing our innovative people. Like if you are trying to be different, it's very difficult to try.
Yes. So failure is a death sentence when you go to Africa. You have a young man who decides to start a business and the business fails. That's fine. It means that you have found a way that business will not work. That is how you should see it. If you are starting a business and the business fails for 10 times, it means that you have found 10 different ways by which the business will not work.
Yeah.
There's a meaning. It doesn't mean that you are failing or you are a failure. The person who invented the light bulb tried 1,000 times before it worked. 1,001 times. So he was asked why was he consistent in doing it before he could do it. He said that he saw the 1,000 times as 1,000 ways not to do the light bulb. If it was our culture, if it was where we come from, people would begin to call you names that you have started something 1,000 times, it's not working, you're still doing it. They'll begin to call you
somebody
names.
will also argue, like from what you are saying, somebody will also argue that the fact that we are tagging people, we in a way trying to bring the best out of them. So it means that at the end of the day, we will get good people, we'll get best people from it. Is that the case?
So if you get best people, so how many best people have you gotten for Africa so far?
That's another question.
How many best people have you gotten from Africa so far? How many of them have become so powerful that they are taking so much risk? It's only few Africans who are taking so much risk at the world level. How many of us are taking that risk? There is a thin line between motivation and mockery.
Okay.
You may think that you are doing something to get someone to get the best out of them, but the truth is that it will kill them. It will kill their spirits. It will destroy them. There is something I wrote in my book. I think it just crossed my mind. It's the same as trying to use the rod or the cane to correct people. We say that the cane will correct them, but have we thought of the fact that the cane can break their spirits? We've never thought of these things before. You say you are mocking someone for him to become the best of them. What of their spirits? Are their spirits ready to take that mockery?
Yeah.
You don't break people. Africa is a home of broken men and women.
Yeah.
We are all broken. We will not accept it, but it is the deepest truth. If all of us would decide to go for therapy, we will see how broken we are. Deep in our minds, deep in our hearts, you will see how broken we are. It will shock you to know that the little thing that even someone did to you way back when you were in primary school has contributed hugely to you not taking big risk at your old age today. Because at the back of your mind, you are scared that a teacher is standing somewhere to make mockery of what you are doing.
Yeah.
You are scared. You are scared that the community will judge you based on the results that will come from what you are trying. I remember very well that when we completed school, I purposed in my heart that I didn't want to get a 9-to-5 job. That alone became a huge thing I had to fight for years. For years.
That decision alone.
Yes. I wrote it in my book. I wrote in the book, I explained things there. You begin to look like the black sheep of the family. If you don't have the tough mindset to move, that is where you get broken. We have a lot of people who wanted to take risk, but the fear of failure has made them limited to become who they are today. There are people who could have become millionaires at 25. They could have become millionaires at 24. They could have become millionaires at 19. But the fear of judgment, the fear that things will not go well. If things don't fail, how will things succeed? I have met people who say that for me, I'm scared to start a business because what if it doesn't work? If you don't start, it will not work. It sounds so innocent, but that is a broken mindset speaking. And it was broken from home, it was broken from school, it was broken from church. I won't mention names, but I saw a video of a very top man of God, and then He sacked his associate pastor in front of a huge conference. He sacked him badly. I'm not judging, but I'm just saying that these are some of the things we may call it disciplinary, but they go a long way. They go a long way to break people. It breaks their spirit. It breaks their enthusiasm. It breaks them from doing something huge for their lives. Africa is a home of broken men, and that is why we are unable to take risk.
You said if you don't fail, how will you learn? You know, as you mentioned that it's also got me back to your book, The African Curse. Last week I mentioned to people that they should check out that book. Actually, that book challenged me on so many things that I assumed as an African, I assumed as normal. The book really challenged me. I want people to check it out. Listen, in the book you mentioned, so I'm just inferring from that statement you made that if we don't fail, how would we learn? You said that, you said failure. Is it failure? Yes, you said failure is not a curse, but it's a classroom. You see, our perspective of failure has actually changed the whole story. And that's how it's very difficult to even appreciate this conversation. And people really find it very difficult because we see it as a different thing. Our perspective of it is different. And your book says that it's actually not a curse, but it's a classroom. And so I also believe that failure, from all that you are saying, it means that failure is even a good teacher than even success. So if you are succeeding, there's no pressure. There's nothing to learn from. But the more you fail, the better you become. This is how I want to say it. Our perspective at one point is very, very dangerous, and it's really affecting us. So what are you saying about that? That it's actually a classroom, and it's a good teacher indeed. How do you explain that a little bit for our people to also understand?
The best way to grow is by experience.
Right. That's profound.
The best way to learn is by experience. The best way to grow is by experience, and the best way to succeed is by experience. Experience is the hallmark of every person that has come out of the dark hole. It's either your experience will build you or your experience will cage you. However you choose it, experience still plays a huge part of your life as you grow. And the foundation of anyone who sits at the top of the ladder, the biggest foundation anyone who sits on the top of a ladder is the experiences they gathered through failure.
It's true. That's very true.
If you fear to fail, it means you fear to win.
You're actually bringing more nuggets.
Yeah.
That's
you can't. True. Yes, it is. See, I will say it again. If you fear to fail, you will fear to win.
You fear to win.
Winning will never come if there's no failure. My best athlete in the whole world is Usain Bolt. Okay. The reason I like Usain Bolt is, see, I've learned his history. It's not just about his name. I've learned his history. I've gone deep to understand who he is, his mindset, until he got to the top there in the 2000s. He was running a race and he was becoming 18th, 15th. He was in the game. It's not like he just came from somewhere. He was in the game. At that time, the world champion was called Tyson Gay.
Yeah, Tyson Gay.
And the guy would always stretch everybody every now and then. The point is that when you fail, the best way to come back is to go into the secret place where nobody sees you. Get yourself ready. Build yourself. The moment you come out, everyone knows that something has changed about you. But the problem is that when we fail, instead of going back to work on it, we go back to listen to what people will say and we die more. Usain Bolt goes back and he was interviewed and he said that the hard work is off the pitch. He said on the pitch is where he has the fun. So all the failures he had, everything that came around him became a journey for him. He identified the people he had to compete. And when he came back, he dominated the whole world. Till today, nobody has been able to do what he did. This is the typical thing you not find in our homes. How many of us will fail at something and will come back to it and say, we want to try it again? You fail and you move on. You fail and you move on because people are talking. You just leave it and you go. So until you graduate, until you move from failure 1, then go to failure 102, then go to failure 103, then go to failure 105, go to failure 106. then you graduate, you do final graduation. That day is what we call you success.
Let's talk about African's definition of success that you wrote in your book. Go to school, graduate, get a job, get married, and have children. Is that not supposed to be the ultimate goal?
You see, success is not a script. What you just read is a script. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of people believe that is success. You see, that's a script. So unfortunately, this is your mindset about success. It means that you are boxed. It means you are being defined by someone's script of success. So if that is the definition of success, why is it that we have young kids, 19, 18 years, 17 years, somewhere else in the world, and they are already millionaires? A lot of them, they're everywhere. So why is that it's only Africa that when you are 18 years, the expectation is that by then we should say that you're not completing the senior high school. At that time, we still call you a child. 17 years, 15 years, 16 years, we see you as you are not fully developed to get things done properly. This is a script. It's a script. So are we saying that success defined for a 15-year, 16-year-old child is getting all A's in the subject they've written, and then when they graduate, they get a better school? That is the definition of success for that child. You see, I'm just drawing your mind to scripts. The same script written for a 15-year-old, a similar script that's been written for a 30-year-old, similar script has been written for a 40-year-old. When you follow that script, that is where a lot of us do not become innovative. That is where a lot of us, we don't take risk. That is where a lot of us, we don't become the best versions of ourselves. So you see, it pains me today because I knew a lady when she was in a primary schools and then got to JHS and all that. Every award day, she wins about 80% of the award. The lady was so brilliant. And in recent times, I was trying to find out where this lady was. I just wanted to know where she has gotten to with her brilliance. I'm not saying it's bad. Only for me to be told that she's a nurse. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying the extent at which we are not able to explore the deepest version of how we could have become, what we could have become. Because what I saw in that lady, I've never, since my days, I've not seen that again. This is a depth of how we are being boxed. You are living by a script. That is basically it. You are living by a script. I love to see people dare to do things, dare to put things in, dare to challenge themselves, dare to go and, no matter what, whether you fail or not, let me just dare to go and do this. Let me just dare to enter into this office. Let me dare to go and talk to this manager. We have been built so much that our fear of failure always gives us the impression, what if it fails? What if it is not accepted? What if the proposal is not accepted? What if the budget does not fund it? What if you fail at this business? What if the investment goes wrong? What if? The what if is a lot in our minds, and it has broken us. It has destroyed us from doing anything that will cause us to be very, very successful.
What do you have to say about people who have been beaten down so badly by culture and systems and end up ignoring their talent?
Listen, let me say something. They are not ignoring their talent. They've even not had the chance to discover what they can do. Don't even think people are ignoring anything. They've not had the chance to discover the highest level of their potential. They've not discovered it. So the best thing to stay safe is to get a place that defines comfort for them. And I'll keep saying it until you take off some of the most dangerous risks in your life. You can never become explosive. I remember when I first started business in Ghana, it was hell. Sometimes I could sit in my room shaking. Sometimes before I leave the house, I would be shouting and screaming at myself before I go out. It took a lot of balls for me to leave my home to start meeting CEOs, to give them proposals, back-to-back failures, back-to-back call rejected, back-to-back. It took me a lot of balls to go consistently before I started getting calls from people to start working with them. If you are not ready to dangerously take the risk, you are not ready for a dangerous winning.
There are people who genuinely have good reasons why they are unable to climb higher.
Yeah. You see the question you just asked me? Unfortunately, we have 1,001 excuses to think that we're not taking the risk is okay. Unfortunately, you have reasons to believe that your business will fail. You have reasons to believe that you're not ready to take a certain action. You have reasons to believe that if you go and start, it will fail. Okay. You have reasons to believe that if you come out of a certain space or a certain relationship or a certain place, you may not be able to succeed. What are you talking about? We have genuine excuses, genuine reasons. And no matter how genuine your excuses, it is still a blockage to who you can actually become if you dare to do it. That is it. So if you want to come out of this, start taking big risk. Number one, start breaking down every excuse you have. No matter what, keep moving. That is what it is. No matter what, you have to keep moving. That is the rule of the game. No matter what, keep moving. No matter what, keep moving. So if you think that you want to start taking risk, it is up to you to number one, you have to take away the excuses. Number two, if you take away the excuses, number two, grab everything by the balls. No matter how shaky you are, you feel like you are scared of public speaking, still do it. Go and stand there, shake and make the mistakes. It is out of the mistakes that we take home our credit. So put away the excuses. Do it even if you are scared. Do it scared. That's my policy. No matter what, do it scared. Even if you are scared, if your legs are shaking, still do it. Do you think people going to the space, you think you're not scared? Go and ask them. If they don't do it, they cannot get the results. So do it scared. And when you fail, just know that you have passed your first class. Thank you very much. And this was another interesting discussion for all the people that stayed through this conversation. Thank you very much. And as usual, I would like you to like, share, and then comment. Share with us what you think about failure. And then if you have ever been scared of taking a step, what stopped you?